Get your kaiju figures at Big Bad Toy Store. Check out the link in the description down below. Why, hello there, collectors. It's Steven here once again with another review for you. And this time, we're actually going to be taking a look at one of my most favorite figures ever since I started collecting. And this is the Revoltech Anguirus. Sci-Fi Revoltech or Tokusatsu Revoltech. Yeah, they kind of went through a name rebranding a couple years back and then they folded the line in. But anyway, it is the Revoltech Anguirus, as everyone has come to know and love this little guy. And I've got to say, there is a good reason why he is well known and so sought after in today's market. Now, with that in mind, he is pretty pricey today. But if you can find a deal, he is absolutely worth adding to your collection. So, oh, dang it. Let's take a look to see whether or not it is worth adding to your collection. Start the review. When it comes to how Anguirus looks, basically almost perfect is the right way to say it. Admittedly, in some spots, the paint isn't quite in line with what Anguirus should truly look like. Let's say on his back, the shell, whatever you want to call it, the spikes. They're a little too clean. There's no paint blending in. But aside from small things like that, fantastic. Multiple colors are used on the eyes. We have a nice differentiation for the red used in the mouth. The claws look fantastic. Overall, this looks like Anguirus walked off the screen and into an action figure. So let's take a closer look now and see exactly how good he is. When we take a look at the eyes, we can actually see just a teeny tiny bit of slop, but that's okay because we do have white, black, and blue used to really bring out the true color of Anguirus' eyes. We also do have the horns on the back of his head and up at the front, which look stellar. Fantastic shading and blending of the paints really make it look very nice. And then we have the not quite pure white teeth, which is very, very good. Because let's face it, this is a kaiju who's been rolling around in the dirt and burrowing underground and eating, well, whatever an Anguirus might eat. So perfect clean, not needed here. And the tongue is also a different color red from the rest of the mouth, which is very nice. For the rest of the figure, Anguirus is a nice brown, and that works very well with the black wash they use to really bring out all of the depths for the scales and so forth. You can really see all the nice details put into the sculpt. Every little nook and cranny on this figure really stands out. And I gotta say, this is exactly why people like this figure. He just looks fantastic. Realistically speaking, I'm just going to be repeating myself here throughout this section that he just looks good. So when we look at the nails, you can even see how nice those look as well. Not too dull, but not too bright that they're going to pop out on the shelf and almost be a little distracting. Fantastic there. Now I'll look at the shell, his back, where again, I made mention that the spikes, yeah, they could use a little better paint blending when they get down to the bottom, the roots, if you will. But other than that, they look nice with some weathering to them. Occasional black splotches here and there that really do add some characteristics to Anguirus. Then we have the tail, where we also have some random spikes as they go all the way up to the tip of Anguirus' tail, which also look like they've been through a couple of battles. Overall, again, Anguirus looks great with a phenomenal sculpt and paint that is almost on par. If you're looking for an accurate Anguirus figure, look no further. Being a Revoltech, Anguirus' joints are not your average ball joints or swivels or hinges, but they're a little bit different because they all use the same style of joints pretty much. So what is Anguirus working with? Well, we actually do have a normal hinge. For the jaw, the mouth opens and closes just like that. Then the head plugs into the neck here on a Revoltech joint. So this way, we're going to get a hinge motion up and down that ratchets, and then a swivel. So this way you can spin Anguirus' head around like that. Now that's pretty much going to be the case for all of the joints on Anguirus. Even here at that other joint in the neck where it connects into the body, you can get a little bit of spinning on it, but or swiveling motion rather. But yeah, so Anguirus can look up about that much, look down about that much. And then we do have the shoulder joints, which are Revoltech joints as well. So you can spin them at two spots, one at the bicep. So this way we do have a little bit of a bicep swivel, and then a shoulder swivel as well. So that's cool. Hinge at the elbow, also featuring a swivel, and at the wrist as well. So this way you can spin the hands around. We do have an ab crunch, which can tilt a little bit too, so that's really cool. Very, very nice. Hips, same sort of design. The knees, they go about that far forward, about that far back. And like you saw before, there is actually a sculpt mark there, a little indent to accommodate the legs going far back like that. And at the hips, they go back about that far. Even if you were to rotate them a little bit, you're not going to get that much more movement forward or back. But yes, we do have ankle rockers along with hinges there, so that's very, very nice. And then the tail, it connects into the body on a Revoltech joint, like you can see there. There is a little bit of a lip covering here, so this way the tail looks a bit more flush. But beyond that, the tail itself uses a bendy wire. And right in here, the wire actually snapped. So, yeah, it doesn't necessarily hold poses the best. And you can definitely hear it in person, but you wouldn't be able to hear it over the microphone. I've tried before. Yeah, so, yeah, that's why I don't like bendy wires. Anguirus' tail can't really hold a pose anymore, just in some spots, but yeah. So Anguirus not only can stand up on his hind legs, but he can also crawl around, as you've seen in plenty of other reviews during size comparisons and whatnot, on all fours, just like so. Very, very fast there to get that to happen. But yes, Anguirus does have some nice articulation, so this way you can get him to stand up on his hind legs, crawl around on all fours. If you want him to do a rider kick, just kind of like this, you can get him to do that as well. The articulation on Anguirus is pretty awesome, and I have to say, for the time it was engineered and for the fact that it has Revoltech joints, it's very, very nice. And now for accessories, and I have to say here, it's kind of mixed, because at retail, Anguirus was about $45 or so. So what does he come with? Well, he does come with a little name tag, or name placard, whatever you want to call it. It's in Japanese. It says Anguirus 1968, destroy all monsters, all that good stuff. Then he actually comes with a special aircraft that comes with that smoke flame trail, the Moonlight SY-3 from Destroy All Monsters. So that's cool to see here. We actually do have an iconic prop with Anguirus. Now, Anguirus also does come with a little translucent orange box and a Revoltech coin, but to be honest, neither of those things are really relevant to the figure at all. So, yeah, the name placard, the name tag, whatever that is, you're seeing pretty much the details for that. So let's take a look at the SY-3. It actually has some pretty nice detailing to it, and while it isn't necessarily the cleanest in the world in some spots, like some of the red may be bleeding over a bit, the SY-3 is actually decaled on there, so it is almost picture perfect. You can't get much better than that. All the rest of the detailing on it looks nice as well, and it's good to see that it might be debatably in scale, but still, it's nice to have something like this on your shelf. Then we also have that trail behind it that just simply plugs into it in a fixed position, so there is an actual molded plug that fits into the bottom of the SY-3, and we have a nice smoke gradient here that goes from a bluish gray from the tip of the blast, from red all the way down to gray from where it would have lifted off from the ground. So that does look very cool there. So overall, Anguirus comes with a nice little package for a nice diorama display. Unfortunately, it's not as nice as the Revoltech Baragon or the Revoltech Mothra or even the Revoltech Gigan, which I still have in storage and I haven't reviewed yet, but still. If you are looking to expand on your Anguirus display, though, there are plenty of other effect parts on the market, and there is a video that I have to help you hunt for those effect parts. So if you want to click on that card in the top right-hand corner of your screen, it'll take you to that video, and we can help you hunt down the effect parts you need. So overall, for accessories, Anguirus doesn't really come with a whole lot, but what he does come with, Kaiju fans can definitely appreciate. Now we're going to go ahead and wrap this review up with a size comparison alongside the SH Monster Arts Mechagodzilla 1974, because I reviewed both of these at the same time and I just didn't feel like recording two different sizing sections. So as you can see here, the Revoltech Anguirus falls in this weird position where, yes, it's small, so technically for on-screen in-scale purposes, it doesn't exactly work, but Anguirus is supposed to be a smaller monster, so it does work with pretty much all the figures that you just might have in the 6-inch scale. So whether or not you want to be strict and stick with Showa SH Monster Arts or Sci-Fi Revoltech figures or any of the other figures you have, Anguirus should just work well enough. So buy now, skip, or wait for that deal. Anguirus looks absolutely fantastic with nice spiky horns everywhere, washes in the right place, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think that there could be another sculptor out there, except for maybe Yuji Sakai, who could nail Anguirus like this. Articulation is pretty solid if you're used to Revoltech joints. Unfortunately, the design really doesn't necessarily lend itself too well to an action figure that can stand on hind legs and crawl around on all four. So for the engineering, we do have to give it an A for effort at the bare minimum. And for accessories, while we do get something nice to complement it from the Destroy All Monsters appearance, I wish we could have at least gotten one other thing to go with Anguirus. But at the end of the day, for the initial price, this thing is absolutely fantastic and is a shining example of what can be achieved from the Showa era in terms of action figures. Not like some of the other recently released stuff that we've gotten. Now, that being said, are you going to be able to get this for $45? Yeah, probably not. I got mine for about $35 back in the day because I got lucky. Today, you're looking to spend between $80 to $100 to get this guy. Is he worth that much? Only to the die-hard Anguirus fans only. Now, if you're going to be spending that much, please dial back your expectations and understand you are going to be buying a $45 figure here, not something that expensive. Keeping that in mind, though, if you really want to get an Anguirus figure to go with your SH Monster Arts or even your other Revoltech figures, you don't have to wait on Bandai to release theirs. If they even do, go ahead and pick this one up today. And actually, as a matter of fact, the SH Monster Arts may even cost as much as this one. Yeah. Well, folks, that's the end of this review. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow me on social media to catch more behind-the-scenes shenanigans and updates. The end card should be popping up now with more hand-selected STR goodness for you to watch, so check out some of those videos. Be sure to check the description, too, to see where you can buy this figure or others like it, and some cool links like the credits for this video and other ways you can help out the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next review.